Well, good afternoon, friends. It's Saturday, so it's a Saturday session. And the topic, perhaps for some of you, you might find it a bit arresting. Are you doing enough? And this is for all of us, whether you've just started your reboot, whether perhaps you've had a very productive and successful 90 days. Maybe you're several months into your recovery, 8 months or more, or in my case, right, 3+ years. Are you doing enough? For many of you, or I would say many of us, we can say yes, of course, we are. We are doing enough. Um, but I would like you to turn that script in your head a little bit. What exactly is it that you're doing that makes you feel so assured, this comfortable? And what I mean by that is the habits that you have created, constructed, the tools that you are using, are they enough, or do you need to reevaluate them? Do you need to go a little deeper? So if you're journaling and it has become a routine, well, first off, journaling is wonderful, but are you actually really putting in that effort, or is it just now become some tag words or a few sentences, and then that's it? In your spiritual reflections or prayer life, is it a good, genuine prayer or spiritual reflection of 15, 20? Maybe you've allowed yourself to grow, and that time has become longer. But as you've been doing it, are you just doing it, or are you actually been able to pull from those moments, and maybe even from the scripture, or from whatever it is that you're reading, or maybe just sitting in silence and listening? Are you feeling that you're getting fruits, kind of spiritual fruits, or are you just doing it and like a check box, right? You're putting it, you're checking that box, and then you're putting it to the side, and you're moving on. Are you doing enough to really genuinely grow? For a recovery, we spend a lot of time on ourselves, but are you taking the opportunity to also grow and develop your relationships, your marriages? What have you been doing lately to bring you and your spouse closer together? What have you been doing lately that will bring you and your children closer together? Are you just spending some time with them, and then after 20, 30, maybe 60 minutes? Sorry about that. After, like I said, that brief time period, you move on and you go back to your things, watching TV or playing games or being by yourself. Are you doing enough to foster the relationships that you have, that you are trying to grow? You see, the whole idea about New Men Rising, you're transforming your life for the better. And in doing that, you're transforming the people around you as well. Your spouse, your children, your siblings, if you have them, your parents, if they're still in your life. What have you been doing that can maybe push you past. You've already been growing through the discomfort, right? You've recognized the comfort level, and you've slowly been going beyond that. And I'm so proud of you for doing that. And sometimes it's just the little things. But if they're been allowing us to be comfortable, and now we're kind of pushing beyond them, that's really good. That's what we need to do, of course. But what else can you do, which is going to be a little bit more uncomfortable, right? What are some other things that you can do to move? Maybe there's a new skill or a new habit that you've thought about and maybe been discerning, but now you need to actually do it. Okay? Are you doing enough? What is it that you're doing? Write these down, right? Write these things down. Um, when you almost do, whether that be enough or when you almost do being present with your family, with your spouse, your children, you're missing out on the true potential of that growth. Fighting the temptations, which surely are coming along. I mean, just a few weeks ago, rather randomly, even after all of these years, there were some moments where I was surprised, not out of complacency, but I was surprised that I could be kind of having these some of these thoughts coming back. Not exactly fantasies, but they were more an inconvenience in terms of their suggestive nature. So I thought to myself, well, how can I fix, how can I uh, solve this? And I came up with some strategies. But the tools, or if you want to think of them, the weapons, right? The weapons that we have to use for the reboot, for the long-term recovery, they're inside us. They are inside us, and that's the most important. Remember that. Remember that. Another thing I would like to maybe leave you with is we are often using where you'll hear other people talk about recovery like a sports analogy, right? It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And in this case, I like to kind of use a different analogy. It's a voyage. It's a voyage which at certain points may lead to disappointment. I would caution you not to think of it as a failure, but it would lead to some kind of disappointment. But if you stay on the shore, you're never going to grow. You're never going to transform yourself, and you will then have the biggest disappointment, which is that you didn't do anything. So I'm asking you to think, to reflect for today and also maybe for tomorrow as well, as you tomorrow or it's a Sabbath day, so hopefully you will take some time to rest, take some time to thank God, take some time to be with your family. But when you are in that moments that you take some time and you see where in your reboot, where in your recovery, where in your relationship with your wife, where in your relationship with your children can you go more? Can you grow more? Can you just go beyond what you think is enough? Remember that your tomorrow starts today. And as with always and everything, I'm wishing you blessings.